So today I'm going to share with you guys an email I actually just received from a 17-year-old producer, a really young guy, but with a lot of promise. And he's definitely thinking the right way, but he's in this sort of crossroads as he's getting into the point where he's deciding college or pursue maybe music licensing. Pretty much, should you go the traditional route, right? Or should you go with something that's a little bit riskier and kind of pave your own path, basically? So I wanted to respond to this email in video form because I have a lot of thoughts about this topic. And for those of you that are in the younger years, between 16, 17, 18, or even into your mid 20s, you might be facing something like this. So this might be useful for you guys. Again, you have to make your own choices in life. I'm not here, and this video is not going to give you your answer for what you should do. You obviously need to make your own choices, and everybody has their own obligations and family dynamics and financial considerations, sometimes restraints, limitations. So obviously with all of this, you need to make the best choice for you. But I definitely, this really resonated with me because I really was in a very similar position as this producer when I was 17 and 18. So it was kind of a real blast from the past for me to kind of go back to this mindset of what was I really going through when I was his age. And what were some of the thoughts that I had? But more importantly, now that I am, in my mid 30s, what kind of advice would I go back to myself when I was 17 and say, now that I have the wisdom that I've gained all these years? So hopefully for you, you know who you are, who sent me this email. I hope you find this really useful. And for anybody else who's also sort of early on in your career, this might be something that could really be helpful, okay? So you inspire me so much, Jesse, because I feel like your videos teach me life lessons, not just music. I love the idea of slow and steady learning and development that ensures that I will have more motivation going forward because I'm not burning myself out as much. So that's cool. He's obviously watching a lot of the videos that I'm putting out. As a beginner producer, my music abilities are relatively decent. I've been playing the guitar for 5 years, even though that makes me feel somewhat confident about producing full-time. I naturally still have unrealistic doubts. Why? I'm a 17-year-old who has to make a pretty scary life decision very soon. Should I go to college or should I get into the licensing industry? So that is... when I was 17, I didn't know about music licensing. So back then I had a band. And so I was like, am I going to be a rock star and tour the world? Or am I going to go to college and kind of do the traditional thing? And that was definitely where I was back then. He says, I feel pressured by others because they think going to college and having a degree guarantees you a job. That's not true because you are never guaranteed a single thing in life. This is where I'm telling you, producer here, you're very smart and you're wise beyond your years because most people at your age are being told this, especially by schools. Public schools kind of preach this stuff all the time. There's this constant push, and definitely, probably people around you, family members, that kind of thing. They're pushing you into this sort of go to college, go to college, go to college, because that's the path to get a guaranteed safe job, have a career, have income, and all that kind of stuff. Because nobody's going to hire you unless you have not a music degree, a college degree, right? A 4-year bachelor's degree or more, sometimes masters and all that kind of stuff. But you are wise beyond your years to already know this, that you're never guaranteed a single thing in life. In fact, you stand alone probably in many people in your generation and in my generation, in the millennial generation. There's this bad problem going on with some of the newer generations that they just think things just should be handed to them. You've already got that figured out, so that's why I see a bright future for you. The fact that you're not going to be complaining, expecting things to be handed to you easily. You've already got that sort of realistic expectation from day one. So whatever path you go on, you've already got the right mindset, man. So, and if you are watching this, anybody else watching this, if you think that things should be handed to you because you went to college or because you, whatever, you're going to be up for some major disappointments in your life. So make sure you do get that part straight before you go forward, okay? Even with music, you still have to put out the effort and grow daily to become successful. Yes, that's absolutely true. It's so hard to communicate to all that to my parents who took the traditional route. They worry too much, which demotivates me. So this also struck true with me. So my parents also the same thing. Both went to college, got jobs after the college era that they were in, and that's what they basically pushed me and my siblings to do because it was like, this is how you're going to get ahead in life. I don't blame them for it because you usually do what works for you, right? And that's what I'm teaching you guys in Sync Licensing. Everything that I teach you guys with my videos and Sync Academy and Sync Edge, it's stuff that worked for me, okay? This isn't theoretical stuff I'm pulling out of the air, hoping that it works out for you guys. I'm giving you guys exactly what worked for me in my career and what continuously works for my students. So trying to communicate this to your parents who did go that route. They did go to college. They did take that traditional route. Sometimes it's like speaking Chinese to them. They're not going to understand what you're talking about in terms of, no, it's a service industry. I create useful, licensable music that can actually serve the needs of music libraries that eventually get it placed on TV shows that earn me royalties. Many of you guys that have been watching this channel for a while, you understand this process, but to somebody who's brand new to it, it is a foreign language. They have no idea what you're talking about. And a lot of times they're probably thinking that's still a pipe dream, right? You're thinking that you're going to get some huge placement. Like they think of it as like American Idol, maybe. Like, oh, you think you're going to get placements on TV shows. That's for like, the real rich and famous artists. That's for the big major label artists out there. It's not. And if you guys don't know that, it's not. They definitely do get placements. Major label artists get placements. But for the most part, they're really expensive to deal with and to work with and to license. So that's why people like me and this future producer probably will get a lot of these placements because we are much more affordable and we can crank out a lot of high quality tracks to their needs, to their specific needs for these opportunities. That's actually who's getting most of the placements that you hear in TV shows. Most people don't know that. It's kind of one of those misconceptions about TV, film, sync licensing music. So it's demotivating, and this is the part where there's not an easy fix for this because no matter how much you try to talk to them, convince them, tell them what you're trying to do, sometimes people just are stuck in what they think is the right way to go forward, especially as your parents. They really are looking out for you. They really want what's best for you. So they're not coming at this in a sort of negative place. They're coming at it from they really do look out for you. They want to make sure that you have the best chances of succeeding. They just came up in a world, my parents as well, they came up in a world where getting a college degree actually was a very valuable thing to have because not everybody went to college. It wasn't this very common thing that so many people are able to do. But I think since like the 90s and moving on, almost everybody has a college degree and almost everybody is getting, mountains of debt basically piled up on top of them, graduating and then going, all right, world, where's my job? Where's my $50,000 a year job? Where's my 6-figure job? I've got a college degree. And companies are like, yeah, well, everybody has that now. That doesn't really separate you anymore. That doesn't make you look any more or less committed than the next guy because everybody has a college degree now. It's so common. So you're absolutely right that a lot of people do go to college thinking like it doesn't matter what you study, just study anything, get that degree, and then you'll get launched into a very lucrative field. No, you really do need to think about college in the same way if you're going to go to college, in the same way that if you wanted to go get a job right now, which is where is the need? Where is the money, right? Where are your skills? Like where can you actually fit in and provide something valuable to the world? And is there a marketplace out there to support you, to actually hire you if you're going to go be an employee for a company, or if you're going to start your own company, is there enough demand out there to actually pay for your services or goods, whatever you want to do? So you really got to be thinking about that. It's really hard sometimes to shift from the high school mentality, which is like, well, just go to English and then history and then math because they tell you that's what you should do, thinking that it kind of is the same thing in college where they'll just tell you what to go take, or you can just take some fairly easy classes or something that you're just interested in, and then afterwards, as long as you get decent grades, you'll get a job. Yeah, that's the big disservice that a lot of high schools and colleges are doing for young people, is they're not giving them the real world. College isn't just about a degree. College is about getting a marketable and useful skill that can actually earn you income, okay? So you need to be thinking about that if you're going to go that route. So, of course, the big $1 million question is, what do you think? Should I follow my heart or take the traditional route? This is where, when you said follow your heart, that's where it really struck me because either way you decide to go, let's say that you feel like, okay, there's just really no talking my parents out of this. I think they're going to have to see me go through a college degree, and you really feel that that's where they're kind of pushing you, and you really feel like there's no way out for you. You got to do that. If you're going to go that route, what I would say is you still should have this element of following your heart in terms of study and find something that you are 100% like excited about, motivated, interested in, that challenges you, that really does stir up something more than just, oh, okay, I can make some money doing this. I would say the priority of things is like the first thing you should not do, or this is going to be kind of in reverse order, but the first thing you should definitely not do is something that has no marketable value. Okay, you're going to study like, you know, some skill or something out there that there's nobody able to hire you with those skills. There's no businesses out there actually looking for those kind of skills. It's just something that's kind of like, you know, you're kind of maybe sort of interested in it, and there's also no marketable way to make money off of it after college. That's the worst thing you can do. Okay, it's a complete waste of time, and you're going to just pile up debt on yourself, and by the end of it, you're going to have to go probably get a job, you know, Starbucks or something like that, paying off your student debt. And that's where a lot of people are right now, because they didn't think about this before they started college. Okay, second thing you can do, which is not as bad, but it's definitely not great, is finding something that will make you a lot of money, but you don't care about it. You know, let's say you're not interested in engineering, but you know that you could definitely get a six-figure job becoming an electrical engineer or something like that. You're going to burn out. You know, you might make some money, you might get that nice job up front, but in the long run, 5-10 years down the road, it's something you really don't care about, and you're going to feel really bummed out about it. And it's not going to provide for a long-term path for you. Okay. So the best thing you can do given that scenario is try to find some sort of a combo of the two, where there's a market out there. You can definitely see yourself getting some, even a paid internship. That would be a great thing, right? So as you're even learning on the job later, you can get paid to do that. And also it's something that you have somewhat of an interest in. Okay, you have to have some level of interest in it. Maybe it's not going to be as high as music. That might not be something that you can find, but at least it has to have something there where you're like, okay, I will push through some of the obstacles and the down points in this future career, because I'm still a motivated challenger. You feel like maybe this is something that could help humanity or better the world or just improve something in a small way, and you just have that passion. That's probably the best scenario you can get to in there. But the other side, of course, is, you know, it's a much more riskier move, not only for your career, but also with a relationship with your parents, where you say, you know what, guys, sorry, mom and dad, I'm not doing college. I'm going to go do this licensing thing. I'm really going to I think that this is the path that I really need to go down. I really see a future for myself. And this is where I'm going to go. Just be aware that there is no sort of like, you know, easy answer to any of these things. Okay. So if you do this path, just understand it's risky, right? And you know, obviously, I think you've been watching my videos for a while. You know, a lot of people get started in this business and they burn out 6 months, a year, 2 years into it. They're just like, I didn't get any placements. I didn't get any or huge royalty checks or any royalty checks. So I'm out. It didn't work for me. I'm gone. Just know that the first couple years, it can be rough. You're going to probably have to have, especially if you're going to be moving out of your parents' home, got to have that day job. You got to have something, right? Or right now you should get a day job while you're under your parents' roof, maybe start saving up a lot of money, spend nothing. You know, you're living rent free, I'm assuming, right now with your parents. It's a great opportunity to just build up your savings account, have a whole bunch of savings, so that if you do move out, if your parents do sort of give you the boot and say, all right, well, if you're going to do this, you're going to start paying your own bills, you're not completely, you know, screwed that way. But it's more than likely you're going to at least have to get maybe a part-time gig, something for a couple of hours a week, to just sort of pay the rent, get the utilities going, and then basically structure your days so that you do have a lot of time, you know, aside from your job, to build up your catalog, partner with music libraries, and go that route. Okay. So, but you know, the risk with that is you do have to have this little bit of a conflict with your parents, because they might be thinking, well, that's not what we thought you should be doing, and they're going to constantly be hounding you about it and maybe saying, you know, you're making the wrong choice, and why are you doing this? Just be aware that might not go away. It's not that you make this bold move that you think is courageous and you think is great, and then they just immediately go, wow, you know, the chutzpah of this kid, right? Like, wow, he ran out and did it. Sometimes they're going to continuously give you this line of doubt and this line of, well, hope it works out for you. I don't know, you know. That's what's really tricky about sometimes when your family doesn't believe or doesn't see the vision that you see. Okay, it's not that they're bad people. It's not that they're trying to sabotage you at all, but it's just that they don't see it, right? And it wasn't a reality for them. So you just have to realize that if you do go this path that very few go down, be aware that that's going to be one of the hardest things. You know, our family units are the most sort of crucial parts of our lives. And you might not think like, well, I don't care if they don't believe me, I'm still going to do it. Oh, it's going to make a difference. Trust me. You're going to be in bed at night. It won't take a long time, and you'll get these little tiny voices, and it'll be your mom or your dad, and some voice in there is in there saying like, you sure this is the right thing? Maybe this wasn't a wise choice. You're going to get those moments of doubt that are coming at you from your parents, from something they've said, or maybe just something you're imagining that they're thinking, because they haven't 100% given you their sort of like encouragement with this path you're taking. So just be aware, it's not easy. It's not something that all people can really deal with. I created Sync Academy and my channel here to be at least one positive voice for you guys, and just hopefully that voice reverberates somewhere back there as well to say you can do it, keep going for it. It's definitely realistic, it's definitely possible as long as you're willing to put in the work. So that's one reason why I put all this stuff out there, to have that for you. But again, just know it's not going to be easy, and there's going to be times where you're not going to feel like you made the right choice, and you're going to feel like you made a mistake. So that's why having a community, of course, being surrounded by like-minded people, having other people that get it, right? They understand kind of what the path is that you're going down, makes all the difference in the world. It's such an important thing to have. Without people around you supporting you moving forward in this industry, going it alone is almost impossible. I won't say it's completely impossible, but it is almost impossible. It is really stacking the odds against you moving forward and succeeding. So anyways, those are my thoughts. I hope this helps you, the subscriber that sent me this video, and for the rest of you guys, even if you're not, in your teens or 20s, this is probably something that might be useful for you guys as well. But please do send this video to anybody else you know who might be in that sort of 16 to 24 range that are facing these kind of issues. This might be something helpful for them to kind of help make that choice and understand there is no easy option there. I mean, life is not easy. Okay, nothing is just an easy, obviously I should go do that, because there's no downsides to it. It doesn't exist on planet Earth. There are pros and cons to each path. I do believe, you go the path least traveled and succeed, it is the most rewarding, because you risk the most, you get the most amount of gain. Doesn't mean you can't go to college and get a nice job that you're excited about, that you have a passion for, and still on the side of that start making music and build some income with music libraries. Just know that obviously your time will be a little bit more limited if you go that path. So, I mean, I have students that are from this age. This is actually kind of rare. I don't have a lot of really young people like this reaching out to me. A lot of my students and subscribers I usually find are probably in the mid-20s to sometimes the 40s or 50s range. They've kind of gone through a lot of the garbage and the BS that the music industry offers. Now they're looking for something more realistic and more sustainable, something they can actually progress with, and that's why sync licensing is so attractive to them. And some students now have had a day job. They've had the career actually going. I mean, it's beyond a day job now; it's a career. They've built up their their income. They've got retirement. They've got some extra time now because they've done all that, and now they're going back to building up their music career again. So there's many different ways you can go about it. You don't have to go the only path that you feel is like you don't have to go the path that is like right in front of you, right? There are always a multitude of ways to get to where you want to go. The important thing though is that when you make that choice, you commit to it. It is so important that you don't half-heartedly jump into it and go, well, I'll give it 6 months. We'll see what happens. And just don't even give it a shot. It's 100% or not. That's really what it is. It's one of those things that anybody who's going down a sort of creative effort, whether you're trying to do, you want to become an artist, a painter, a comedian, a musician, a band, a producer, any of that kind of stuff, you got to sort of take away the B plan. There's no plan B. It's got to be success or nothing, and take failure off the table and have that complete drive, dedication, almost desperation to succeed. In many ways, you've got to have that. I had that when I first got started. My big fear was, and my commitment to myself was, I don't care what I ever do the rest of my life, I just never want to have to go say good morning to a boss in a company that I don't respect and give my best hours away to somebody that I think I could be running the business better. So that was my commitment to myself. I didn't care. I was like, if licensing doesn't work out, I will go start my own janitorial services where I go clean people's houses or I do their yard work. I'll do something. I don't care what it is. I want to be my own boss. I don't want to have to say good morning and go to, whatever, business meetings and employee meetings and just all the nonsense you guys obviously know that happens in corporate environments. That was my commitment to myself and my sort of, no matter what, I'm going to march forward with this. So have your own story. Have something that you decide, no matter what, I'm going to X, Y, or Z, right? Put that in place. So I hope this helps for you guys. Please leave a like and do subscribe if you're new to the channel. I do appreciate that. And leave your comment below. Let me know what you guys think about this video. I do always read those comments. Thank you so much.